So Christianity is not a religion about God, it's a relationship with God. It is the first day of the third unit in my freshman theology class, and this unit is called St. Ignatius of Loyola and the Communion of Saints. I start the class off kind of just giving students a general overview of the unit. What are the objectives for the unit? And the main objective is really understanding the role of the Communion of Saints in salvation history. But because we are at a Jesuit school, we focus a lot on, or we talk a lot about Ignatius of Loyola specifically and the Society of Jesus and how they help. What is their particular charism, or what is their particular gift as far as helping people to develop a relationship with Jesus Christ. In class today, the two objectives deal with saints in particular. I asked students what is the difference between a saint with a capital S and saint with a lowercase s, and simply put, the word saint, it's from Latin sanctus, or holy one, or sacred. A saint is a holy one of God, the textbook tells us, and it's a pretty basic definition. But in Catholic tradition, when we talk about a saint with a capital S, these are saints who, through study, through research, through just experience directly with these people, they have shown themselves to be men and women of heroic virtue. These are men and women who have devoted their life to growing in relationship with God and helping others to do so. Later in class, we'll talk about more specific saints and examples of that. But they are, by definition, people that we understand to have lived a life devoted to God, and because of their endeavors to look like Jesus in the way that they lived their life, we understand them to be in heaven with God right now. A saint with a lowercase s is someone that is currently in our life, who is not officially recognized as a saint, whatever that means, but they could be living or they could be deceased, but they're people that have a personal effect on us as far as our relationship with Jesus Christ and with God and with the church. So I want my students to understand that both saints with a capital S and saints with a lowercase s are vital to helping us to grow in relationship with God. In fact, I tell students, most people, the first ropes that God throws to us come in the form of saints, in the form of people in our lives. And so they are very important in our what we call salvation history, the story of God inviting us into relationship with Him. So saints, the communion of saints, and that's related to the second objective. What's the role of the communion of saints in developing a relationship with God, our salvation history? The communion of saints, that is all members of the body of Christ, all people that God throws into our lives who are actively pursuing a relationship with Him. All of those saints, they help us to encounter Jesus through their love, through their devotion to Christ, through their mimicking the actions of Christ and their very relationship with Jesus. They become a sign for us. They become a rope for us to grow in relationship with God. I have students often in this lesson, and this actually happened, students asking, just very directly, how do I become a saint? And the first answer is you grow in relationship with Jesus Christ. You grow in relationship with one who is the ultimate example of what it means to be a human being. Later in class, we'll talk about Mary and the role of Mary in the communion of saints. But what I really want the students to do in class, and this is the last maybe 10-15 minutes of class, is I give them the first part of what I'm calling the patron saint micro project. And that's where I give them a series of questions. What are things that you're passionate about? What are things that you love? What are things that you struggle with? What are things that are difficult for you, that you wish you were better at? And maybe what is something that you wish you had someone with you at all times to help you through? And as they go through this, they're making a list of basically things that they are praying for, that they're either thankful for or that they wish they could have, or things that they're more confident in. And then the challenge is to basically do a little bit of research and look up who is the patron saint of that particular gift or that particular challenge. I give the example of St. Augustine, which is, you can't read it right now, but I'm pointing at the poster. This is the Great Canticle of Love by St. Augustine. St. Augustine is one of my patron saints, because the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I wish that I was better at is teaching and in theology. And so I develop this relationship with St. Augustine, who is patron saint, one of the patron saints of theologians, and also a great educator himself. So I challenge the students to look up some of these potential Catholic saints. It's not, I'm not trying to indoctrinate, I'm just trying to help the students to understand what is the role of saints in Catholic theology. And so giving them this worksheet and then kind of just a quick graphic organizer where I want them to do a little bit of research of who is the saint, where are they from, when did they live, and what is something about them that you can relate to, something interesting about them. How can they help you? So that's the idea. That's the first lesson here on saints and the communion of saints. So far, so good.